Urgent Birds fan, look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest birds news, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything Eagles, ex-Eagles QB suddenly fighting for his job after surprise. News One former Philadelphia Eagles quarterback has found himself in a sudden off-season competition following the latest NFL free agency news. It's been a month since NFL free agency began, and it's safe to say the league already looks significantly different than it did at the end of the 2024 campaign. Since the offseason began, teams around the league have spent a lot of time and resources shaking up their rosters through trades and free agency. The Philadelphia Eagles aren't an exception after winning Super Bowl 59, with general manager Howie Roseman doing whatever it takes to ensure next season's roster is good enough to compete for another title. One of Roseman's early offseason moves saw the Eagles trade quarterback Kenny Pickett to the Cleveland Browns in exchange for fellow QB Dorian Thompson-Robinson and a 2025 fifth-rounder. With Deshaun Watson's 2025 outlook unclear, many people have projected Pickett to be the Browns' starting signal caller come Week 1. At least, that was until the Browns' latest offseason decision. Ex-Eagles QB Kenny Pickett fight for job after Browns. Signed Joe Flacco on Friday, the Browns announced that they've signed veteran QB Joe Flacco for the 2025 season. The former Super Bowl MVP has been a fan favorite in Cleveland since the Browns' 2023-24 postseason appearance and just spent the last season with the Indianapolis Colts. We got a fever. Browns fans never wanted Flacco to leave Cleveland, meaning his signing is more than welcomed by the fan base. Having said that, the 40-year-old gunslinger's contract news likely means bad news for his teammate and former Eagles QB. Unlike Pickett, Flacco already has experience with head coach Kevin Stefanski. The Browns HC put his complete faith in the former 2008 first-rounder late in the 2023 campaign when Watson went down with a season-ending injury, and it ended up being a move that paid off. Flacco led the Browns to an impressive 41 record while averaging a career-high 323, 3 passing yards per game in 5 starts. He also completed 60, 3 of his passes for 13 touchdowns to 8 interceptions and a 90. 2 passer rating, outperforming Watson despite having not signed with the Browns until late November. Has since thrown for 1,761 yards, 12 TDs, 7 INTs, and a 90. 5 passer rating in 6 starts with the Colts. Flacco's familiarity with Stefanski combined with his NFL track record could give him the edge over Pickett. Although the Oakhurst, NJ, native has youth on his side, Pickett's performances have been trending in the wrong direction since his rookie year. His Eagles tenure wasn't anything to write home about, as he only completed 59. 1 of passes for 291 yards, a pair of TDs to 1 INT, and an 86 5-passer rating in 1 start across 5 appearances. With that being said, Pickett's path to starting for the Browns won't get easier going forward. Not only does Flacco present a new training camp challenge, but the former Eagles QB will also likely need to deal with a rookie passer coming out of the draft, whether that's a first-round prospect or someone taken in a later round. The Eagles and Browns won't play each other in 2025, meaning Philly fans must wait at least another year before being reunited with Pickett. Whether he's proven that he still deserves to be with the Browns at that point remains to be seen. Pausing. This news just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest Eagles Nation news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to the news. Steelers rumors, writer suggests Eagles, Commanders as possible. TJ Watt trade spots. Watt has represented the Steelers' defense for 8 seasons since 2017. TJ Watt could have plenty of plausible destinations for his next NFL team if his time with the Pittsburgh Steelers is over. Andrew Vasquez of the Steelers Wire wrote a piece that discussed 5 teams in the league that would be a positive fit for Watt's skill set. The teams he included were the Philadelphia Eagles, Green Bay Packers, Washington Commanders, Atlanta Falcons, and Carolina Panthers. The Commanders' offense improved by leaps and bounds this offseason, but the team has a glaring weakness edge rusher. Watt deserves a chance to compete for a Super Bowl on a competitive roster, and Washington offers just that, Vasquez said about the Commanders. This one would sting, but it would make a lot of sense if the Steelers aren't competitive around the 2025 trade deadline. The Eagles have a young, unproven edge rush duo and could see Watt as a potential rental for another Super Bowl run. Could Philadelphia offer a king's ransom for a potential two-peat spearheaded by Watt's presence on defense? He wrote about the Eagles. What lies ahead for T.J. Watt, Steelers? T.J. Watt's future with the Steelers is uncertain as he negotiates his next contract with the franchise. If talks fall through, then he can consider the teams that he can make the biggest impact on. Watt has represented the Steelers for 8 seasons since his debut in 2017. Pittsburgh picked him with the 30th overall pick of the 2017 NFL Draft, making his way up the ranks as one of the best defensive players. He has earned 7 Pro Bowl selections, 3 Deacon Jones Awards, and the 2021 NFL Defensive Player of the Year award throughout his career. He also holds the record for sacks in a season when he made 22.5 throughout the 2021 campaign. Watt is coming off a 2024 season in which he made 61 tackles, 27 quarterback hits, 5 sacks, 6 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and 4 pass deflections. He helped command the Steelers' defense to a postseason appearance where they lost 28-14 to the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC wildcard. If Watt believes his time at Pittsburgh is up, then he could turn his direction to the Commanders and Eagles as his next best destinations. Eagles will host promising DB prospect for visit. The Philadelphia Eagles have lost a lot of talent in free agency after dominating the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl LIX, which unfortunately is just the cost of doing business these days. Avante Maddox, Isaiah Rodgers, James Bradbury, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and Darius Slay are all gone from last year's secondary, so plenty of reinforcements are needed to fill in the voids, which is why one promising defensive back prospect was recently hosted for a visit ahead of the draft. Insider Elliot Shore-Parks shared Monday on X that the Eagles recently used a top 30 visit on Georgia safety Malaki Starks. The Eagles used a top 30 visit on Georgia safety Malaki Starks. Per league source, Eagles would likely need to trade up, but they have a ton of interest in Starks. Starks is a versatile safety and had 6 interceptions and 17 pass deflections over his 3 years with the Bulldogs, and he took a step forward in 2024 with a career-high 77 tackles as he blossomed into even more of an anchor for one of the best defenses in the nation. It's easy to make the connection between Starks and the Eagles because Philly hasn't been shy about having a type, and that type is defenders from Georgia. The Eagles built a substantial part of this defense around young defensive stars from past Bulldogs teams, including Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nakobe Dean, Nolan Smith, and Kelly Ringo. Starks could step right in to replace CJGJ and would likely have an easy transition, given the familiarity of having so many fellow Georgia guys around him. The Eagles have the 32nd pick of the first round after winning the Super Bowl, so it is possible they would have to trade up to grab Starks, but he may be too enticing to resist doing so. Former Eagles defender will regret leaving Philadelphia. This offseason, a veteran defender who just left the Philadelphia Eagles this offseason will learn the hard way that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Teams around the NFL have been faced with offseason departures since free agency began last month. The Philadelphia Eagles haven't been exempt from spring exits after winning Super Bowl 59, having been forced to say goodbye to several veteran names, whether it was because of salary-based reasons, lackluster performances, or even retirement. Although several veterans left Philadelphia this spring, defensive tackle Milton Williams' departure was the most notable. After being Pro Football Focus number 31 graded interior defender, 71, and winning a Super Bowl last season, Williams cashed in on that success by inking a 4-year, $104 million, $63 million guaranteed with the New England Patriots. As much as the 26-year-old DT is likely thrilled to be making a boatload of money, Williams will soon learn that leaving the city of brotherly love will come with regrets. Former Eagles DT Milton Williams will regret leaving Philadelphia with their salary cap constraints this offseason. It was always going to be tough for the Eagles to keep Williams around. The former Louisiana Tech product played himself into a new contract bracket after tallying 11 solo tackles, 5 sacks, and a broken-up pass in 17 regular season games before posting another 5 solo efforts, 2 sacks, and a pair of disrupted passes on the Super Bowl run. That's without mentioning how Williams also had the number 2 PFF pass rush grade 90, 4 among interior defenders. Having said that, an encore performance is far from guaranteed, especially with the Patriots. Even though New England has overhauled its coaching staff in favor of Mike Vrabel's image, that doesn't erase that the Pats finished with the 8th worst run defense and 4th worst pass rush grades on PFF, and it remains to be seen if the new staff can fix those issues. Not only will he have to do with a brand new coaching staff, but Williams could struggle to adjust to the Patriots' demands for him. On March 13th, Vrabel announced that the Pats plan to play the former 2021 third-rounder more often than the Eagles did. Williams played 654 defensive snaps between the 2024 regular season and playoffs. However, it's clear New England thinks he's capable of playing more frequently. For reference, defensive linemen Denico Autry and Jeffrey Simmons played at least 658 regular season snaps under Vrabel in 2023, giving a good indication of what could be in store for Williams. At the end of the day, the Patriots' new coaching staff and how Williams handles a higher snap count will dictate if he made the right call to leave Philadelphia. Money can't buy happiness, and it wouldn't be shocking if the veteran DT came to regret taking more money to play with a floundering franchise rather than going with a pay cut to chase another Super Bowl with the Eagles. And now, Birds fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Birds. I'll be back any moment with more Eagles Nation news. Fly, Eagles, fly!